Hey guys, Joe Smith here. Joe Smith's just going to do um, little another old-fashioned type radio broadcast, audio only, no video or that. So, Chemical Spore, buddy. Sorry to disappoint you once again, uh, but it looks like you'll have yourself for tool porn reruns if you guys see video from Joe Smith here tonight. So, Joe Smith's just going to do another old-fashioned type radio commentary. Joe Smith's not really that great at it, but Joe Smith's just kind of like sharing his thoughts and feelings and maybe trigger some thinking in others and get others to see things from different viewpoints or learn new ideas or something. But nowadays it's all about video and visual, high definition, pixels, screen size, refresh rate, multi-monitor. Internet's just all full of pictures and videos and back long time ago, before a lot of you were born, and maybe even before some of your parents were born. A lot of people in America just listen to the radio. Didn't have a whole lot of houses with TV, or even back before TV when it was just radio. Used to have all sorts of radio shows on and get your news headlines on the radio. They tell stories and jokes and commentary, and listen to sports games on the radio. And so Joe Smith's just going to continue a series of thoughts and comments on current events and other political or news topics or that. Just kind of doing old-fashioned radio type commentary with no video. So if you guys see video, go check out some of Joe Smith's other videos, or check out Joe Smith's friends' videos. Joe Smith's got a lot of awesome friends with great videos. But so if this audio commentary only is not your deal, sorry to disappoint. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. But those of you do listen, you can listen while you're at work and all that. That's cool. Joe Smith just kind of likes to sit in the dark, no distractions, and listen to the radio every now and then, and or hear stories and that, and kind of get rid of all the distractions around you, and kind of gets you thinking, opens your mind up. So if you are able to just kind of sit in a relaxing environment with the TV off or the internet off, well, you have the internet on, I guess, to listen to this. But just like hit the play button and shut the monitor off and just listen to the speakers, and just sit back and relax, or lay on the sofa, or whatever, and or if you're listening on your cell phone, just lay the cell phone upside down on the table next to you and relax and just kind of listen. When Joe Smith does this type of audio only, and just let your mind wander, and maybe think about the stuff Joe Smith talks about. Maybe you start thinking about other stuff, or that maybe you fall asleep. A lot of things have been going on lately. some of you may have heard of this Yang Wang, whatever his name is, guy that's running for president. That Joe Smith heard everyone keeps getting his name wrong when he goes to these debates and that. He's all for this universal basic income, UBI they call it, and some other countries, Finland. Joe Smith heard had tried it and didn't really, unlike some jobless people, but didn't really have much support for it. And when everyone else found out that they were going to have to pay higher taxes to pay for it, then they were really against it then. This Yang guy wants to give everyone, regardless if they have a job or not, and it's $1,000 a month. And yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but where's the money coming from? You know what some African countries do to pay for their welfare? They add 75% tariff onto the importation of goods. So companies in those countries cost them a fortune to make stuff and sell for a fortune. Nobody can afford to buy it. So yeah, that's one way the government could do it. But then it's like we're going to go back to the days of paying $10,000 for a big screen TV, because $9,000 of that's going to go to give away free money to people. So yeah, you'll get free $12,000 that year. And you'll have to pay $10,000 for the TV. So it's almost like a wash. And plus, you have to pay more for other stuff too. So it's just going to make the cost of stuff ridiculous. Well, the other ways of doing it is taxes. Again, if they do it instead of tariffs, if they do it through like payroll taxes and stuff like that, well, then companies will have to pay less. Be more people only making minimum wage. Won't be able to give raises because they'll have to pay higher payroll taxes. Or might even run companies out of business, or they're just going to pass on those higher payroll tax costs to the products you buy or the services you hire. So again, you might get this extra $12,000 a year in free money, but you're going to spend an extra $20,000 a year on clothes and groceries and services and housing, whatever. So it's just going to end up being a wash. It's like Mississippi or Alabama or that won the Mississippi, pretty sure. Joe Smith just read yesterday. They've been trying this. Some non-profit group got a bunch of money donated to them somehow or other from fundraisers they done, and they selected so many people, not for sure if it was just women or men and women. Sounded like it might have been mostly women though. They were kind of poor. Sounded like most of them had jobs, or all of them might have had jobs. Most or all of them had kids. I think it was like mainly for single mothers or something that they're trying this on, and for the last 6 months they gave them a $1,000 a month free. no strings attached or whatever. Spend however you want. With the idea, like this Yang is saying, it's like, well, they'll give them money so they can reinvest in education, and that way they can get a better job and they can lift themselves up, and they can pay off student loans or credit card debt, and or put in savings for emergency or something for doctor's visits and that, uh, and yeah, there were a couple of them, it sounded like, did get some past due utility bills or credit card bills caught up. But at the end of the 6 months, no one had any savings still. Nobody had any money in savings. Everyone's still working, same job. Nobody had taken any classes, or everybody's still making the same amount of money at their job. One couple that didn't have a job still didn't have a job. And for the most part, when these people were asked what they used the money for, I went on a weekend-long shopping spree. Got the check cashed it on Friday, and by Monday it was gone. Went to the spa, got nails done, got the hair done, got some makeup, got some new clothes, got a new purse, got some new shoes, got a few toys for the kids that they probably didn't need. Went out to Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, for the most part, they just kind of blew the money. That's kind of the thing, that money that people don't earn, they don't really think too much about how they spend it. Any of you guys get allowance when you were a kid? Joe Smith never did. Joe Smith had to work for his money. Did any of you just get an allowance, it's a couple bucks a week, and then you can just go spend them however you want? If you did get an allowance, did you ever really save any of the money up, or was it all spent the same day you got it? And do you remember what you spent it on? What was it, just candy and pop and some cheap gimmicky toys or something at the time that you probably forgot all about, or video game arcade, or did you actually spend it on something meaningful that you actually still have today, all these years later, or do you even remember? Or when you got birthday money, what you go spend it on? You got $100 total in cash from birthday cards from your aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff. How'd you spend that money? Did you go buy music tapes or CDs or stereos or video games, or did you actually put it in a savings account in the bank for the future to save it for college or a car or something like that? Not saying spending on video games or stereo at the time was the wrong thing. It was your money. You can spend on what you want, but just kind of curious. if anyone remembers for that. And then when you did get your first job, whether it's working at the grocery store, baking groceries, or stocking shelves, or working in a restaurant, cooking or waiting tables, or or when you first got your first mechanic job or that, um, or whatever your first job was. Post in the comments below what your very first job was. Maybe it was a newspaper route or something, but post in the comments what your first job was, and if you remember what you spent your allowance money on. If you got allowance, if you got allowance, say if you want, post that you got allowance, and kind of if you remember some of the stuff that you spent on comic books or whatever, or if you didn't get allowance and had you work for your money, like Joe Smith did. Like, what kind of work did you do? Like, mow lawns and scoop snow and rake leaves and help with neighbors' gardens and help Dad mow lawns and fix stuff, and like Joe Smith did, or did you work at like grocery store or restaurant or some other type job? And if you want, post in the comments what your first job was, or if you had allowance in that, and do you feel like the money you made from an actual job, how, like your first job, what did you spend your first paycheck on? Did you go out and spend it the same as if it came in a birthday card, or was your allowance money, or did you put a little bit more thought into what you spent on? Maybe you're a little bit older and actually had a car at the time, or was getting a car and had to spend it on the car or gas to get to work. But did you kind of start budgeting or saving some of it, or being a little bit more careful with it compared to when it was just a gift, or maybe you were careful and saved up your gift money too? Who knows? Sure, a lot of people did actually save up their gift money or half of it and use for something else at a later time. Maybe they saved up for a new bicycle, like Joe Smith did when he was a kid, instead of just going out and buying something for $5. Joe Smith saved up that $5 and made more money, and for a few months Joe Smith saved up till he had enough to go buy this $150 mountain bike at Walmart that had a suspension fork on the front. Yeah, just kind of like, what's your thoughts on this, or that you feel like overall people are probably going to be more careful for the most part with money that they have to work hard for versus money that's just a gift? Because it sounds like this experiment, everyone just kind of blew all the money. Nobody saved it up. Nobody used it for any good. They spent it as fast as they got it. Now they're all asking if they're going to keep getting these checks, and this company, charity, whatever they are, sounds like they're out of money. So now all these people are upset that they're not going to get no more free checks to go on their shopping sprees. So. And also, here's another way, or another issue that Joe Smith just heard a separate story about. John Stossel, from those older guys probably, I used to see him on the ABC News, and he's been on Fox News, and he's got does some YouTube videos too now. Yeah, Joe Smith used to call him the voice of reason at Fox News. the only one with half a brain there. But Joe Smith thinks he's got a lot of good points in that, and views on things, and all sorts of different topics, and uh, he's kind of against the UBI because he's like, well, yeah, they're just going to go blow it. They ain't going to use it on anything good. They'll probably go spend it all on lotto tickets or something. The story didn't say, maybe some of them did just blow it all on lotto tickets. Another story that he was talking about, a separate story, is like, why is the rest of the world developing and getting richer and that, like China over the last 30 or 40 years, and America and Canada, Australia, and Europe and all that, and the Middle East is kind of rich with oil and that, but Africa, most African nations are staying poor, still poor in that, and people are still living in huts and don't have plumbing or electricity and that. And yeah, there are some developed, or several big developed cities in that, in Africa too, but like for the most part, a lot of the places, people are very, very poor. And he's talking about, or interviewing some of the people, and they're saying just too many government regulations, and some of the stuff the government means good about it, they just don't think of the unintended consequences. Like, they have all these welfare programs for the poor people, but the money for that, they're taxing businesses super high, and these import tariffs that Joe Smith mentioned earlier. And this one lady is trying to have a business making chapstick to sell to the people around her community, village, and that. Some of the ingredients she needs aren't available in her country, so she has to import them from America or China or somewhere else. And she gets charged a 75% import tariff on that stuff, so almost doubles the price of her product, and now it's harder to sell it, and not as many people can afford it or afford as much of it. And so now she's not able to make as much money and grow her business and hire employees because the government's charging her too much money to pay people that don't work. And there's a shoe company. Joe Smith's not going to mention their name because Joe Smith really feels like they probably had good intentions, and they're probably doing a decent thing or that, but they, again, unintended consequences that they probably have no clue about, don't know about. But for the company announced some years ago that for every pair of shoes you buy from them, they'll donate a pair of shoes for free to people in Africa. And over the years, they've shipped like some 90 or 94 or 95 million dollars worth of free shoes to African nations. Which, yeah, that sounds like a super awesome thing, and it kind of is a super awesome thing. But and Joe Smith wants to say thanks to that company for doing good work, but now here's a problem that's arose from it that they probably never thought about and still might not even realize. That's why Joe Smith's not wanting to mention their name at all, but because Joe Smith doesn't want to make them look bad, because Joe Smith thinks they're truly trying to do a good thing at least. But there's actually people, shoemakers, in these communities and cities and villages that they're donating these shoes to. And I mean, dozens of them. Uh, uh, and every one of them employs, on average, 15 employees to help them make shoes. And they do everything by hand. And they don't have machines, they don't have money for machines for that, so they hire all these people to sit in these rooms and make the shoes by hand. Um, and they then sell around their village and city and community and that. Well, this shoe company comes in and gives away all these free shoes. Does something good and gives away all these free shoes to these people. Well, now these people don't need to buy shoes from all these local businesses. Now all these people that are employed, hundreds of them, are getting laid off and losing their jobs and not having a source of income now. They got a free pair of shoes at least, but they have no job and no income now. Because I mean, who can compete with free? How are they going to sell shoes when uh, every few months another crate comes in of free shoes or that? And other companies are doing similar to that. For every so many or one or two or three, whatever they're doing, then they're donating so much product or whatever to these countries in Africa and putting other small businesses out of business and causing more people to get laid off and lose their jobs. So a lot of these people actually want the free stuff to quit coming from America or other countries, and they want to have less regulations, less taxes, less import tariffs, less welfare, and have their own business and grow and have jobs and work for their money, and so they can lift themselves up that way. Basically how China did when once the Chinese government back in the early 70s, uh, into the 60s or beginning of the 70s, whenever it was, allowed to some extent some free market capitalism, and look at Shanghai and other cities in China that were part of these capitalism areas, and just compare photos from 40 years ago to today. What people did to lift themselves up without the help of the government, without a minimum wage. Without government incentives or whatever. They did it on their own because they wanted something better for themselves. And now people in Africa want better for themselves too, but they say all these free donations are and government welfare programs that are causing higher taxes are holding them back. So, kind of like the old saying, no good deed goes unpunished. Always some sort of consequence to a good intention or unforeseen consequence. Minimum wage in America. Who has the highest minimum wage? Seattle, Portland, Oregon, California, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles. Who has the highest homeless population living on the streets? See, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles. Uh, what? What? Why? If they have $15 hour minimum wage, then why are people so poor and homeless? Housing costs skyrocketed. Food prices are skyrocketed. Taxes are high. Other costs of goods are high. There's no $5 foot long subs at Subways there. Here they're all like $6 or more. But there, you go to Subway for a foot long, it's $10 to $12. It's like $1 an inch now at Subway and those places. And they've had to lay off half their workforce. Now you got people getting laid off. They're having paid twice as much for food and everything else. And it just ruins them. It puts them on the street. Or people that aren't skilled enough or aren't fast enough, aren't smart enough to get a job at that minimum wage, or just getting priced out of a job. And it's like you're not going to go spend $200 for a tire for your car that has no tread and a screw sticking out of it. I know if you're going to pay $200, you want a brand new tire. Well, these companies having to pay a top dollar, so they want top dollar in return. They want to get their money's worth, just like you would. And unfortunately, these people that have less of an education, which may be partially their fault for goofing off in school or skipping school, it may not be their fault. May have just been born with disabilities and be differently abled. But unfortunately, they're just getting priced out of the market, and the jobs that they were able to do, like work at a video store maybe, well, got replaced by vending machines and online services. And other jobs got replaced by kiosks. Other jobs like pumping gas got replaced by self-serve pumps. And other types of businesses just closed down. Smaller grocery stores where they used to be able to stock the shelves and make $5 an hour went out of business. So it's like, would you rather have 3 people employed making $5 an hour and the cost of a meal $5, or would you rather have one person employed at $15 an hour and the cost of a meal be $15? Just kind of they're like, well, if make companies pay people more, then they could live better lives. Well, yeah, the ones that keep their jobs. So yeah, half them get a little bit better lives because in reality, then cost of goods inflation just goes up the same amount, so it ends up being a wash for the most part. They get $1 an hour more work at Subway, but they gotta pay $1 more for that sandwich now. So they still gotta work 1 hour for one Subway sandwich. That's just kind of some thoughts there for you guys think about. What's your opinions? Have anything to share? Thoughts or that? Ideas? Probably nothing that none of us can do about it. Might be something that never changes in our lifetime either. Maybe never will change. Maybe America ends up collapsing, becoming a third world country here in another 100 years or something because of stuff like this, and ends up becoming like Africa, or who knows? Maybe things end up getting better, but yeah. Any thoughts or whatever on any of the topics or comments? Please feel free to share. For those of you that actually sat through and listened to everything. Thanks for hanging out and listening to Joe Smith's old timey style radio commentary broadcast here. Hope everyone has a good night. Joe Smith signing out.